Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ndifon Ntui, and on this channel I make sewing tutorials. I post new videos every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Even though today is not Saturday, I skipped today, but things will be beyond my control. Anyway, you're welcome to the video. If you like the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Have a nice day. Good evening, my people. Oh, is it evening on your side? Okay, good day my people. You're welcome to another video. In this video, like you've seen in the thumbnail, this is the image that we're working with. This is the bodice that we're trying to recreate. Now with that out of the way, let's proceed. Now this fabric was folded using the biggest measurements around the body divided by 4 plus the allowance I intend to add. So if in this case it is our bust that we are using, because we're drafting only the top part of that dress, okay? And our bust is the bust we are working with is 33, and 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. The allowance that we're going to be working with is 4 inches, so 8.25 plus 4 inches is 12.25. so I'm going to fold, make sure that I fold 12.25, okay? This is like 13. That's still okay. Now the reason why we're doing all of this is to help us economize our fabric, okay? So now with that out of the way, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here from the edge of this fabric, from the edge of my paper. I'm going to keep half an inch out, okay? Now this is going to serve as my sewing allowance, my seam allowance as the shoulder. All right, so I'm going to roll a straight line from top to bottom, okay? Now when that is done, I'm going to then place all my vertical measurements, okay? Now when I say vertical measurements, what am I talking about, right? Now these are measurements that come from your shoulder and that are going down. For example, your shoulder to your under bust length is a vertical measurement. Your top length is a vertical measurement. Your dress length is a vertical measurement, okay? So the vertical measurements that we're going to use is the first one is our under bust length. Our under bust length is 13, so we're going to come to 13. We're going to make a mark at 13, and then for almost every, okay, like for instance this image that we are looking at now, you can see the cut doesn't sit at her under bust length exactly. All right, the cut comes down a bit, okay? It comes down a bit. So because of that, we're going to come down by 2 inches. If we put the cut at her under bust length exactly, we're going to look like she's going to end up looking like Simbi. All right, so in order to avoid that, we're going to come down by 2 inches. Not just in the Simbi, I'm talking about Ali and Simbi from that book. I don't know how, from the textbook. I don't know how young or how old you guys are. Anyway, out of the way, now to find our bust. Now we have to find our bust point, okay? We're going to count 4 inches from our under bust up, okay? So we're going to come to our under bust length, which is this. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to place the bust here, okay? Now this will work for most people, so you can use it. Doesn't matter who you are cutting for, okay? This saves you that embarrassment of taking the tape from the shoulder to your client's nipple and start funneling your client and all sorts of nonsense. This is going to help you avoid that awkward situation. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just like I did at the shoulder. I'm going to rule horizontal lines across these points, okay? So I'm going to rule a line across here. I'm going to rule a line across here. I'm sure by now you guys are singing it with me. I'm going to rule a line across here, okay? I'm going to rule another line, ½ inch at the bottom. This line is going to serve as my sewing, as my allowance for joining to the bottom part of the dress. All right, now with that out of the way, from here to here is our shoulder. This is our shoulder. This is where we place our bust, okay? Remember I said that this is the bust point. That is where the bust is at its fullest, okay? So we're going to come here, we're going to place the person's bust measurements. All right, now the bust measurement is 33, like you've seen at the beginning of this video. I hope you wrote down the measurements that I showed you guys. The bust is 33. 33 divided by 2 is 33 divided by 4. Sorry, please, the bust is divided by 4. The bust is always divided by 4. 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. So I'm going to come to 8.25 and I'm going to make a mark. In case you don't know, in case you are a newbie and you don't know what 8.25 is, this is where 8.25 is, okay? At this point right here, this is 8, all right? From here to here is 8.25, right? This is 8.5, this is 8.75, and this is 9, okay? Now that you've learned something new, you can run along and tell your friends. Anyway, with that out of the way, I made the mark at 8.25. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this under bust length, and I'm going to come here. I'm going to make a mark at the half cut, and this is where I'm going to place the under bust length. Now you guys have always asked me. Anyway, the under bust round is 28. That distance, the under bust circumference, the distance around her under bust is 28. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Okay, I'm going to make a mark there, and I'm going to come here. Now I know a lot of you have been wondering why I don't place the under bust length as where I took it. Now this is the thing, I don't want to have that awkward curve that you would have when you connect here to here first and then connect it down. Okay, it would be too sharp around here, that sudden and the drop, okay, to be too sharp. And also, this is not the waist measurement. A lot of you have been asking me that. This is not where I place the waist. Okay, I place the waist as around where my navel would be, and your belly button doesn't sit at 2 inches after your under bust length. Okay, and also the body doesn't change greatly if you measure your under bust round, right, or your under bust circumference, and you take the tape only 2 inches down and take the tape around that point. The number that you will get, even if it is off, it would be by half an inch. Okay, only if you are pregnant or something, but then you shouldn't be dressing like this, because it's going to make you very uncomfortable. But for a person that is in perfect condition, all right, 2 inches after your under bust length is not going to be very different. All right, now with that out of the way, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to place my shoulder measurements. Right, my shoulder measurement is 14 divided by 2 is 7. I'm going to make a mark at 7. All right, now as you've seen, this is a monostrap. All right, so, and you've seen where the neck is. Okay, so now look at this image. Look at where that neckline is. Okay, you can see where the neckline is. Now that's sitting at the distance from her neck to where the fabric is approximately, from what I can see, is like 2 inches. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a neckline width of 4. All right, I'm going to come here, I'm going to make a mark at 4. I'm going to use a neckline width of 4. All right, good. Now with that out of the way, I'm going to slope my shoulder. All right, watch closely. But if you want to make that strap smaller, you can always play around with it. All right, this 4 is not a standard. I'm going to come like so. Now I'm going to just make a round neck. I'm going to use 3.5 or 4. You can still use 4 for the slope. I'm going to use 4 for your slope, and then I'm going to come out like so. All right, I'm going to make a neckline. Please, this neck is going to change. All right, so at this point I'm going to place her armhole. All right, now her bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 is equals to 7. Okay, so I'm going to come from here to here, and I'm going to get to 7. I'm going to make a mark at 7. All right, I'm going to come out like so. Okay, you're going to come to the middle of the armhole. Okay, because the front is smaller than the back, so we have to make sure that we taper in the armhole. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. all right, so with that out of the way, I'm going to come here, mark half an inch like so, and then I'm going to taper my armhole out. You see that? Nice and easy. Okay, now we drafted the bodice. It's time for to start working the magic. Okay, time to get that cut that you can see. So at this point, you can decide whatever cut you want to do. You can make it a princess cut, okay, or you can make it a bustier cut. Okay, now in the previous video that we did, I made it a shoulder bustier cut. All right, I made it a bustier cut. Now for this one, I'm going to use a princess dart. Okay, so now this is what we do. First of all, we're going to come. Was the last video bustier cut or was it princess dart? Cannot remember. Anyway, I have videos on this channel that will show you how to draft a bustier cut, an off shoulder bust, and it will also show you how to draft the princess dart. So you can browse the channel, see what I have there, see what you can get from that. So but to continue, the next measurement we'll place is her bust point, is her bust span. Okay, that's distance from one nipple to the other. All right, it's her bust span divided by 2 plus half an inch. Now the bust span for this person is 6 inches. All right, 6 inches divided by 2 is 3 plus half an inch is 3.5. I'm going to come to 3.5, and I'm going to make a mark at 3.5 here. I'm going to make a mark at 3.5 at this point too. Okay, now when that is done, I'm going to connect all my dots from top to bottom like so. All right, okay, now when that is done, I'm going to come to her under bust length. Okay, I'm going to come to our underbust length, okay, not the half cut, the underbust length here. I'm going to come up from this underbust line that we had here. I'm going to come up by half an inch. Now what this is going to do is that when I'm sewing this, okay, or if I was sewing this, I'm going to pad it. Now when I pad, I expect that my client does not use a bra, okay, and when I come up by this half an inch, what it does is that when it's fully padded, it lifts the person's bust up a bit, makes the person's bust look more voluptuous, if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's what this half inch does. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is my under bust curve. All right, these are the measurements these are the numbers you would use depending on the bust that you are using. Okay, so you're going to come to this line, okay, from these leaves that we have here. You're going to come out by 1.5 for this bust size. Okay, there are numbers on the screen for you to work with, regardless of whatever bust size you're working with. Okay, so for mine it's 1.5. I'm going to draw that line from top to bottom. Okay, now when that is done, I'm going to make a curve from here to here. So we're going to nicely curve out like so. Okay, and the next thing will be to have my princess dart. All right, so for my princess dart, I'm going to measure my armhole. As you can see what I'm doing, you're going to carefully measure your armhole around. When you get to the point here where you have where the bust meets the armhole, where this line met the armhole, you're going to stop, meet the armhole. That's 7.5. Now 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. So 7.5 divided by 2 would be 3.75. Okay, I'm going to make a mark at that point. You see that? In the middle of the armhole. I'm going to draw a curve from here meet this point. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is this. I'm going to come to this line. Okay, see this line that we have here. You're going to mark ½ inch up and you're going to mark 1 inch down. Okay, ½ inch up, 1 inch down. What this does is that it creates a dart around the armhole. So this dart and this dart pushes, creates that vacuum that the bust is supposed to fill. Okay, I go into detail when I in the video where I showed you guys how to draft a princess dart, one of the very first videos on this channel. Okay, not the part 2, the part 1. That's the part 2, the one with the blue dress. Don't watch that one. If you want to know what I'm doing here, watch the one down. The links to all the video will be in the description below. Okay, now I've marked ½ inch here, I've marked 1 inch here. I'm going to draw a line from here. Okay, connect it back to the bust before it gets to this point. You see that? See where it tapered, where it made the line? The same thing is going to happen to this one. You're going to make a curve from here, meet the line before it gets to the bottom. All right, you don't want to draw a line and meet here. You want to curve, meet the line before it reaches the bottom. Okay, so then you're going to need to extend this part of your armhole. If we keep our ruler like so, right, straight at this point, straight, you'll notice that it is shorter. Look at how it's going out. Okay, you can see that. You see this? Look at where it's falling, right? And that's exactly what will happen if you join this without extending the bottom part. So in order to avoid that problem where the bottom that is shorter, where the bottom part is shorter than the top part, after doing your princess dart, you're going to need to increase this part by 1 inch. So from here I've marked 1 inch. You're going to draw from here to here, and then you're going to make a new armhole like so. Okay, you see that? Good. Now when you're done with that, you're going to start paying back for all your sins. Okay, so now we've done that. You're going to come here. You see this 1.5 that you took out. Now if you join this 2 without paying back the 1.5 before keeping your allowance, what will happen is this. If you just want to keep your 2 inches of your allowance or whatever you keep here, and you sew this, what this has done is that it would eat your allowance, and at the end of the day you won't have any allowance left down here, because first of all we have this one here, right? So sorry, this 1.5. So you see this 1.5, we're going to first pay back that 1.5 at this point. So we're going to come here, pay back 1.5. Okay, we're going to draw a line from here to this 1.5. all right, and then we're going to keep our allowance. All right, from my side allowance, I keep 2 inches regularly all the time. Okay, but most times I reduce it, but on a normal day 2 inches is what I'm going to use. Okay, and that is done. I'm going to connect here to here. All right, so we are practically done with the front. The last thing will be to add half inch of sewing allowance at the top. Okay, you see that? We're basically done with the top part. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. And then I'm going to show you guys how to draft the back. then we'll come back to the front, and then I will show you guys how I do that cutout. That's the cutout that you can see in the image that we're working with. Okay, so let me show you guys how to cut this out. I'm gonna come from here. Okay, so then we're gonna cut here. Then cut here. Then cut here. Then I'm gonna cut here like so. So that's all for the front. I'll show you guys how to draft the back next. Okay, so you're welcome back. It's time to draft the back. Now like the front, we folded the fabric using the bust divided by 4 plus the allowance. So on the back, what we're going to do is the bust divided by 4 plus the allowance that we intend to use plus our zipper allowance, which is what we have done. For the front, we folded using 12.5 as a guide. At the back, we're going to fold I'm using 14.5 as you can see as the guide. That 14.5 is because we've added 2 inches to 12.5 in order to create allowance space for our zipper. Okay, so you're going to come from here. I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches like so. I'm going to run the line from top to bottom. Right, so we're going to run 2-inch line top to bottom. People that have been watching my channel for a while by now would have skipped to get to the point where I show them how to do the magic. But here we're going to mark our, after that we're going to mark our vertical lines. Okay, so we already know the bust is at 9 on that bust round the half cut. Okay, roll the line across my half cut, roll another line across my underbust round, my underbust circumference. I'm going to make a mark across my bust point. Okay, then up here I'm going to place my shoulder. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2, 7. Okay, then remember for the neckline we use 4. Yeah, we use 4. I'm going to make a mark at 4. Remember the neckline width always stays the same. Okay, I'm going to slope my shoulder by 1 inch. Whatever you use for your neckline width in front, remember to always use the same thing at the back. Okay, the neckline width has to be the same so that it's balanced. Alright, then from here I'm going to drop my armhole. Remember in the front we use an armhole of 7 inches. Okay, so from here to here is 7 inches. Right, and then I'm going to draw a line out. Right, okay, then I'm going to place my bust measurements and all my other vertical measurements. Okay, so my bust measurement is 8.25, making the mark at 8.25. and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to place my underbust round, which is 28 divided by 4 is 7. Alright, I'm going to make a mark from here to here. You see that? Then you're going to come to the middle of your armhole. Now unlike the front, we don't go in, okay, because the back is wider, so you can come from the middle, make a nice slope like that, and we're almost done. Now for the neckline width at the back, remember this outfit only has one strap. Alright, so it doesn't really matter the neckline because it's going to end up being a very deep neckline, so we can use a neckline depth of about 2 inches, but that will change as soon as we start drafts, as soon as we draft the front. Okay, now we're going to make a neckline like so. Okay, then we're going to roll a line from here to here. So at this point we're going to add our darts. Now remember the way we place our bust circumference, our bust span at the front, we did our bust, our nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half. It's still the same thing, 3.5. We're going to put 3.5 here. We're going to come here, we're going to make a mark at 3.5. Alright, we're going to come from the top like so. and you're going to come to where 7 is. So from here, from this line here, from here, not from up here, from here, you're going to come to where 7 is, and you're going to rule a straight line from 7 to this point. Okay, good. Now when you're done with that, you're going to place your tape like so. Okay, now you're going to mark ½ inch on both sides of this line. So you're going to mark ½ inch here, you're going to mark ½ inch on the other side. So that's what I'm doing. I've marked ½ inch here, and I've marked ½ inch here. Next thing, we're going to roll out your darts. Now please, for the newbies, this dart I'm drawing, you're not supposed to put your scissors into it, okay? But this is the amount that you're going to hold at the end of the day. Right, let me add my ½ inch at the bottom. This is going to be my draining allowance, just like I did in the front. So like in the front, I kept 2 inches of allowance. We're going to do the same thing here, but for the bottom part here, I'm going to place 3. I'm placing 3 here because of this ½ inch. Half plus half is equals to 1 plus 2. 1 plus 2 is equals to 3. So I'm placing 3 here, okay, and I'm placing 2 here. Okay, I'm going to come here and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to place 2 inches for my allowance at the side. Alright, I'm going to roll a line from here to here, like so. Okay, good. Now the next thing is I'm going to come to this line. Now you see this line here, I'm going to come up from this line by ½ inch. Okay, so from this line I'm going to mark ½ inch up, right, and then I'm going to make a cut from this line. I'm going to make a line from this line to this point here. Okay, that's going to help me reduce the puffiness that happens at your zipper. Okay, that excess that happens at your zipper, this is going to help you pay for that. All right, okay, so we're going to also cut this guy out, and then I'm going to show you how to cut that part of the front. So that's how we cut it out. So now that we're done with the zipper, it's time to make the cutout that you can see in front. So the first thing we have to do is that we have to pick the side of our paper that's in the front of our fabric. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm using the part of the paper where I marked to represent the front side of my fabric. Now you know that every fabric that you work with has the right side and has the wrong side. Okay, so what I'm doing now is that I'm using my imagination and I'm going to assume that this part of my fabric is the good side of my fabric, that this is the part of my fabric that I want to show at the end of the day. All right, that's very, very important. You need to understand, you need to know exactly where it is when you're cutting your monostrap. If not, you might end up making one side of the shoulder, all right, facing the wrong side. You would understand that as we progress. Okay, so what we're going to do is, for the cutouts in front, we're going to bring out our center pieces. Okay, we're going to lay everything out flat like so. All right, so we have this here, we have this guy here, and we have this guy here. Now just like I did in my, just like I said for the back, all right, we're going to assume that this part here, the part that has my my marker on it, is the front of my fabric. All right, is the good side of my fabric that I want to show at the end of the day. All right, that's what we're assuming. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark the top part. Okay, the parts of the neckline that made it the monostrap. Okay, so what you're going to do is this: you're going to come to this part of the neckline, right from here. You see where this curve, after we curve this, you see where this curve stops right here. That's the center line that we have running down. Okay, you're going to make sure that this curve is smooth. Okay, right, and then what we're going to do is this: we're going to come from the armhole, we're going to draw a line from here connecting here to here. Okay, so that's the first step that we're going to do for the very first curve that we can see there. We're going to draw a neat line from here to here. Okay, now one thing you need to know about lines like this is that after you draw this line, you're going to still need to increase this part here by half an inch. Okay, that's going to save you from one side being shorter than the other still. Okay, when you're sewing, it's going to help you cancel out any shortage that you're supposed to have. Okay, so when you're cutting out this part, what you're going to do is that instead of cutting on the first line that we drew for the monostrap, we're going to come up here and we're going to cut, just in case we will need it later on. Okay, we're going to cut here. All right, now we have turned this from a two-shoulder outfit into a monostrap. Now the next thing we need to do is to focus on the other part of the dress that had lace on it. Okay, that's why most of you came. All right, so again, we need to acknowledge that this is the center. All right, the very center of our bodice. Okay, and then the first curve that we're going to do is we're going to come from this part of the shoulder here, not down here, but we're going to come from up here. Okay, and then we're going to come from the bust line. You see the bust line here? Okay, that's where the bust fell. We're going to make a curve from here to here. Okay, we're going to make a curve from here to here, a straight line. Sorry, we're going to draw a straight line from there to there. All right, so now we have gotten that part of the curve. Okay, now what is left? What is left is the other curve that came from this part of the armhole and came out. So what you need to know is that when you are making straps like this, you need to be very careful with the amount that you keep. Okay, if your client is not very daring, I advise that you use only half an inch. So we're going to come to the center point here. I'm marking half an inch everywhere. Okay, see what I'm doing? Half an inch here, half an inch here. We're going to draw a straight line from here to here. Okay, and then we're going to draw another line from this part. We're going to draw another line straight here. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're going to rule the line from here to here. You see that? And when you're done, you're going to see that there's an angle here. You're going to make a small curve. Okay, so that it sits nice and smoothly. All right, so when that has been done, we're going to cut this out. Okay, so first we're going to cut here out like so. All right, okay, now by the time you join here, as you can see, it's forming the bust already. Okay, as you can see, it has formed a bust right there. Okay, now this part is going to pay for, this is the part that's going to accommodate the bust. Okay, please, when you are cutting this, remember to increase both of these lines by 1 inch. Okay, from up here, remember on your fabric, when you place it on your fabric to cut, increase the top part here by 1 inch, meaning that curve that we had should go up by 1. Okay, so as I was saying, you're going to add 1 inch. Okay, you're going to add 1 inch at the top of this part. Okay, you see this part that we've cut out, you're going to add 1 inch around all of here. Okay, now when you're marking it on your fabric, like I was saying, you're going to add separately when these guys, because you know these guys have been joined together here, but before you join them, you're going to need to add 1 inch on your fabric. Okay, so you're going to have 1 inch like so, 1 inch everywhere. When you're getting close to the armhole, it's going to taper back in, because as you can see in the image that I showed you guys earlier on, the armhole didn't have any curve, it was just smooth and flush. Okay, so you're going to have 1 inch everywhere here, and you're going to taper out when it gets to the armhole. Okay, so please don't forget, when they are separate, 1 inch on top here and here, taper out the 1 inch before you get to the armhole. Okay, so with this guy out of the way, and this piece was cut from here, when this part was still here, this piece was here. Please do not misplace this piece. Okay, now when that part is like so, you're going to come and you're going to cut here like this. Okay, you're going to cut here like this, cut here like so, cut here like so, cut here like so. Now this part that I'm cutting out now, okay, this part that has just been cut out will be used to cut the net. Okay, now please, the reason why I told you not to misplace this piece is because you're going to tape them back. Okay, you're going to use your tape, you're going to bind them together. All right, you're going to bind here and here together, and you're going to use this to cut the net. Okay, that part that has the net, this part here will be used to cut the net. Please do not forget, you need to have ½ inch around here. Okay, half inch around this part, and you're going to have half inch around the bottom. Okay, so this two will be like this. When you're cutting the pattern, you need to add half inch everywhere here. That will be your sewing allowance. Okay, I hope that is clear. You need to add half inch on top, half inch at the bottom. That's for sewing allowance. And please don't forget, you need to cut your net 2 times so that it is thick and so that it does not rip. Okay, now with that out of the way, we're officially done. Let's hit here, we're done. Okay, the net is going to fill in here. Now the reason why I told you that you need to know which side is your front and which side is your back is so that when you're cutting the neckline, because imagine that you just cut any shoulder off of this, you might end up having it facing the wrong way. So as we had agreed, this is the front of your fabric. You're going to make it face down. Now the part of the fabric that I can see, okay, now this part of the fabric that I'm seeing, that I'm looking at, is the front of my fabric. Okay, this part here is the front. The side that's facing down is my back, which is what you're going to do. Keep the front of your fabric facing down there. Now, so as I was saying, you're going to make the front of the back to face down and the front of the front to face you. Okay, and then you're going to simply trace the neckline that you marked in front to the back. Okay, and then we're going to cut it out. Right, we have it. This is useless now, and when you're done with that and ready to sew, you're going to divide the back. Okay, remember we kept the zipper allowance under here. You're going to divide the back. Okay, so that is how you go about drafting the pattern that you saw in the image that attracted you here. Have a nice day, have a nice life, stay safe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.